Hello, I'm Heidi Dean. If you are brand new to Instagram or just need help navigating the new Instagram layout, this video is for you. It's a step-by-step Instagram and Instagram stories tutorial that will show you how every button works on the app. As my intro plays, hop in the comments below and drop your Instagram username so we can all get to know each other. Let's do this. Okay, I've got my big cup of coffee. I hope you do too. Let's learn Instagram. Now, if you don't have an account yet, your first step is to go to Instagram.com or the App Store and set up an account. The first thing they're going to have you do is set up your basic settings. You're going to need to add a profile photo. For right now, just add a headshot that you're using on your other profiles. Then you need to choose a username and try to choose one that you're using on your other social media platforms. Under that, you need to add some sort of link. This will be your website, your IMDb, or another social network. And then you need to add a bio. Now, although Instagram has added a ton of new features in the past few years, it really is pretty basic because it comes down to these simple buttons. These 3 at the top and these 5 at the bottom of the feed. The menu at the bottom is your home, explore, Reels, shopping tab, and your profile. And at the top, we have your post button, your notifications, and your direct messages. Pretty simple. We can access most everything on the app from these simple buttons. Let's start with the one on the bottom left, the Home tab. Home is your feed. It's very similar to the feed on Twitter, on Facebook, but a little less cluttered. Here is where you'll see the posts from everyone you follow and from the hashtags you follow. You'll also see your Insta stories at the top, and I'm going to dive into Instagram Stories 101 later on in this tutorial, so stick around. Now to the right of home is our Explore tab. When you click into it, you're going to see that it has 3 distinct sections. First, we have our search bar at the top where you can search anything on Instagram. Next, we have our categories, and there are categories really for everything here. We have travel, architecture, movies. We can also access IGTV videos here along this menu bar. And then the third section on Explore are our videos, our posts, and Reels. Instagram has curated posts that they think you will like based on your actions on the app. If you don't like what you're seeing, all you have to do is swipe down and you will have a completely different set of videos, posts, and Reels. Now keep in mind, what shows up here on the Explore page for you is based on your habits. It's based on who you follow, what you like, what videos you view. So if you don't like what you're seeing, start commenting and watching different content. Now within the Explore tab, there's that search bar at the top of the page. And with that search bar, you're going to get 4 options to search things on the app. You can type in any keyword. I put in acting here, and then Instagram is going to put together a list of top accounts for you. Now some of these are based on people you already know and you're interacting with, but it's also a great way to find other people to network with, collaborate, and add to your tribe. Those are top accounts. Next, we can search all accounts, and we can really use this to search for people or accounts on any topic. I typed in acting here, and then any accounts that have acting in their username or name will come up here on Explore. Next is our hashtag search. I typed in hashtag acting, so any hashtag that has that word acting in it will pop up here. If we click on any of these hashtags, we will be brought to a feed of posts for that tag. And places. Places are our location searches. 1 in 4 posts on Instagram actually have a location put on the post. And don't worry, I'll show you where you do that in just a few minutes. I can type in an actual place like New York City or a specific business or landmark in New York City, and then I'll be brought to a feed of posts that are tagged with that location. Location searches can help you find people who do what you do, but also can be great if you're traveling somewhere and you just want to find the best coffee in Miami. We're going to keep on moving down this menu here. Right next to Explore, you'll see Reels. Reels are those fun interactive videos that are 30 seconds or less. very much like TikTok, and now they have their own tab on Instagram. You can just keep flipping through them, scrolling up to view any reels you like. Right after the Reels tab is the new Shopping tab, where yes, you can browse shops and go shopping on Instagram. After shopping, we are on our Profile tab. It's very simple to find. It's on the bottom right of the app, and it has your profile photo on it. On your profile, you'll have your username, your name, your bio, your link to your website, your follower count. A lot of the things that we talked about at the beginning of this tutorial. Now, if you want to edit any of this information, all you have to do is hit Edit Profile. Right under our bio are our story highlights. These are those pinned Instagram story highlights that we want to keep around longer than 24 hours. We can pin them right here to our profile so people can see them. Once again, we'll be talking about stories a little later in this tutorial. Now, under these story highlights, we find our post, and we have a bunch of tabs and options here. We just scroll down the page here so you can see this better. So you can see here, there are separate tabs here on our profile. And if you aren't already, I do suggest you take out your phone and follow along as we go through these. The first tab that we see right when we go to your profile are your posts. I call this your grid, part of your first impression on Instagram. The next tab over is Reels. This is where you'll have a feed just of any Instagram Reels you've created. Now, if you've created any IGTV videos, you will have a tab here for that. Now, most of you will not have this. This is AR filters. Instagram's given us the ability to create our own face filters, and if you've created any, they will be right here. And lastly, we have a tab here of any post that you're tagged in. This is all accessible from your profile. Now, we also have two buttons here at the top. The plus is what I call the universal posting button. When we click on it, we'll be able to create any type of post on the app. I'll be showing you this in just a few minutes. And these three lines bring us to all of our settings. When you click on them, you're going to get this menu. Now, I invite you just to go into your settings and look at all these yourself, but I'm going to highlight a few that I think are very important. The first one, obviously, is settings. Clicking into settings, you will find so many things on the app. This is where all your security and privacy settings are. This is where you can change your type of account from regular to creator or regular to business. I love audience insights, and you will have this if you have a creator or business account. Insights are great because you can go in, you can see how your posts are performing, you can find out insights about your audience, where they are, how old they are, the best times to post, all here in your audience insights. And your saved post here. I use this feature every single day. I love to use it to create an inspiration station of posts that I love on the app that I can then either directly share to my stories or use it to inspire my own post. So if I see a post in the feed that I love, I can just hit that little bookmark there and it's going to be saved here in my saved post. Pretty cool, right? Now, the other feature that can be really quite useful is called close friends. There may be certain Instagram stories you put out there that you don't want the whole world to see, so you can create a close friends list and selectively decide that you want to send some stories to these people. So we've covered the menu bar down here at the bottom. Let's move to the menu at the top, direct messages, notifications, and post. Let's go from right to left here, and we'll start with those direct messages. So to access those direct messages, all you have to do is hit that little paper airplane at the top, and you'll be brought to your inbox. Now, your inbox will look slightly different whether you have a regular account or a business or creator account. One thing I do suggest is that you check those message requests. This is a whole inbox of people who you do not follow. So occasionally there will be messages here that you want to respond to. Now, depending on what type of account you have, if you have a creator or business account, we get really cool features in our direct messages where we can mark messages as unread, we can star messages as our favorites, and you can do all of this at the top of your inbox. I love the ability to star messages so they don't get lost in my busy inbox, and you can see here this message from Marcus. I just flagged it so that I can easily remind myself that I need to get back to him. Now, with indirect messages, there are so many features now that I invite you just to go in and play around with. You can send images, you can send videos, you can do video calls and chats, all within direct messages. All right, let's look back at that menu bar at the top of the feed. Next, we see our notifications. It's that little heart because your notifications are when people show you a little love. And you'll have a little red dot on it if you have any new notifications. Here's what the notifications tab looks like. You may have a branded content bar at the top if you're doing any branded collaborations. You'll also find when you're mentioned in a story at the very top. Now, you'll receive a notification when someone likes your post or your reels, when someone follows you, when someone leaves a comment on your post or reels, when someone tags you or mentions you in a post, when someone mentions you in a story, that will be at the top of your notification feed. All right, we've got one last button, and it's a big one. It is the post button. It's one of the ways we can create a post is by just hitting that little plus in that square, and we'll be able to start creating a post. Also, remember I said that little plus when we're on our profile page is the universal posting button. We can also click on that. And when we do, you'll see what pops up, this menu where we can literally create any type of post on the app. You can create a post, a story highlight, an IGTV video, a reel. You can do it all right from this plus on your profile, which I call the universal posting button. But let's go ahead and hit this button right here and create a post together. All right, so you have the option of just hopping into the camera and taking a photo or taking a video for up to 60 seconds for the feed. Or we can upload something from our camera roll, like this lovely picture of my daughter. So if we scroll down, we're gonna see everything recently on our camera roll. Let's just choose this one. If you need to change the orientation of the photo, just hit this button right here. You can also use your fingers to zoom in or zoom out. And you don't just have to upload one. You can upload up to 10 photos or videos into a single post using the carousel post feature right here. Just watch me. I'm going to click on 10 photos and videos here until it tells me to stop. And they're going to be uploaded into a single post. This can be a great way to tell a day in the life or a story in one single post. Now, whether we go with a single photo or a multi-photo, next, all we have to do is hit that next button up top, and we're going to get some editing options. We've got a basic auto-correct, auto-photo option up top that you can play with. Or we can click on filter and choose from a ton of filters on our post that can really give us the vibe for how we felt in this moment or how we want people to feel when they see our feed. Now, if you double click on any filter and you hit this little box right here, you can add a border to any post, and borders are different depending on the filter. You're welcome for that fun little tip. Now, after you choose a filter, we can also choose to edit, and you have all sorts of editing features here, just like you would see on your phone. Once you're happy with the picture, the filter, the editing, we hit next at the top, and we move on. First step here is to add a caption. This is where you might also include hashtags. Then we're prompted to tag people that are in the photo or add a location that you might be in right now in the photo. Let me show you how these both work. If we hit tag people, you can just hold your finger down on the photo and then search for anybody that might be in that photo. Brett's not in this photo, but you can see how it works. You can also add a location, which can help us show up in the Explore tab. Remember when we talked about location searches? This will automatically come up if your location services is on. If not, you can type in a more broad location here. All right, we added your caption, your tag, your location. Now we decide if you want to post to other Instagram accounts or other social media accounts, and then you're good to go. You're going to hit share. This post will now be on your grid. Now you know the basic features on Instagram. Let's move on to Instagram stories, because let's face it, Instagram stories is where the party's at these days. So what are Instagram stories? Instagram stories are a series of short photos and videos that are separate from your Instagram feed that can be viewed for just 24 hours. If you've used Snapchat before, they are very similar to Snapchat. And just like Snapchat, there is this fear of missing out since they disappear after 24 hours. So this causes engagement on stories to be pretty high. Now to access stories, you can hit the plus right there where it says your story. If you want to watch other people's stories at the top of your feed, you could either just start with the first story there and they're just going to play in order. Or I can just click on an individual one like this one here and I'll be brought to their stories. And you can see here she has 4 stories. Those are the 4 lines at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. If somebody had just 1 line across the top, that means they have 1 story. If someone has 20 lines, which look more like dots at that point, then they have 20 individual stories. Make sense? Now to create a story, we have a few options now. We can go to that universal posting button up top, that little plus, and guess what? Story is one of our choices below. And pretty much anywhere on the Instagram app, you can also just click on your profile photo. It will take you to the stories camera. Now, if you've already created a story in the last 24 hours, you'll have an additional step when you go to that story camera, and you'll just have to hit on that little plus to get to the camera. When you do, you will find yourself in the Instagram stories camera, and it looks something like this. Now, when we're here, if you look at the bottom, we can actually access all cameras on the app. The first one here is what we just looked at. This is where you'd go to post on your grid. You can access the camera there. The next one over is stories. And the one after that is Instagram Reels. Here's where you would create a reel. And after that, we have our live camera, where you go live on Instagram. You first want to create a title. This is what's going to pop up at the top so people know you're live and what you're going live about. And you also have the option to choose a nonprofit that you want to donate to. Then you just hit that big live button and you go live. What we're going to focus on at this part of the tutorial is Instagram stories. I'm going to walk you through how every feature in the stories camera works. Let's do it. Now this button right here, this big white button, is where you take photos or videos in stories. You can click on it and take a photo for your stories, or you can hold the button down for up to 15 seconds for a video story. Now, if you don't want to shoot something in the app, just hit this button right here and you can upload anything from your camera roll, photos or videos. Now, if the video is over 15 seconds, Instagram will actually splice it into 15-second intervals up to 1 minute. You also have the choice to see me on the camera or flip the camera and see what I'm seeing. These circles down here at the bottom are our AR filters. This is where you can add dog ears and cool filters. You can just keep swiping to the left. You will find tons and tons of filters here. Let's choose this one. But the fun doesn't end there. If you look over to my left, these are all of our shooting options. I'm going to hit the arrow to expand them. I can put them on my left here, or I can hit these arrows and move them to the right. Let's walk through these so you know how they work. Let's start with the top one, the create mode. The simplest thing we can do in the create mode is just type text and have our story be all text. You have all the Instagram stories text features here. And don't worry, I'm going to dive into these in just about 5 minutes in this tutorial. In this create mode, we also have all different options for creating conversations with our followers. So if you ever have a day where you don't know what to post, hop into create on stories and you're going to have a lot of prompts to help you create conversation. I mean, that is what social media is all about. So that's the create mode. Next, we have boomerang. Boomerang, you're just going to hit the video button down there and it's going to do a quick 2-second GIF. We can also decide to make a grid style story using layout. And you can see there's all different layout options. We can split the screen twice into quarters. You can take a photo or video in each one. Level here is actually brand new, but you can see it actually gives us a grid on our stories so we can properly align anything that we're trying to take a picture of. And we can actually use level with all the other shooting options. Let's go to the next one, super zoom. But you can see I still have level on and I can still use it there. Or I can turn it off. Next is super zoom. I love Super Zoom. You have all different options to add a little drama and effects to your stories. There is paparazzi, there is a zoom in on your face, there's fire, there's hearts. So go in here and play around with Super Zoom today. It is awesome. Now you're gonna notice with all of these features over here on the left, they change all the time. So obviously if you're seeing a different shooting mode than I'm showing on the screen, all you have to do is just go and try it out. So under Super Zoom, we have hands-free. It's the hands-free mode. It is exactly like what it sounds like. I can shoot without the use of my hands, and then I would just tap the button right there without using my hands at all. So there you have it. Those are all our shooting modes there. We can also decide if we want to flash or not up at the top. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera right down here at the bottom so you can see what I'm seeing. And we are going to take a picture and use this for the rest of our tutorial so we can add some bells and whistles. And remember, you're just gonna tap that white button at the bottom to take a picture. And when we do that, we will be brought to this screen where we can add text, stickers, gifs, links, all sorts of fun things here. All your menu options are at the top here. Let me show you how they work. So the first option is to save your post. Next option is to use those face filters. Sometimes they do show up when it's not a person, but usually you have to have a face there. Next, some of you will have a little link icon. What this link icon is, it's the ability to link to an IGTV video or an outside website link. Now, the ability to add a link to your stories, and when I say add a link, it means people can swipe up on your story and go to your website, go to your YouTube video. They can leave the platform and go wherever you want them to go. This is restricted to accounts that have 10,000 followers or more, or verified accounts, at least at the time of this recording. So if you don't see that link icon at the top, it just means you haven't qualified yet, and keep on going, keep on growing. Next, that little sticker icon, this is where we find our gifs. We find our location stickers, where we mention people, where we add hashtags, location stickers, mentions, if I want to mention or tag somebody, all right there in your stickers. You can add music to your stories here as well. You can ask people questions. Anything that you add here you don't want, just drag them right down to the trash can at the bottom. Next is our drawing tool. Let's play with some of these. The slider over here on the left helps you decide the size of your drawing tool. Obviously, the further down you go on the slider, the finer your marker will be. The higher you go on the scale here, the fatter that pen and drawing tool will be. So let's play with a couple of these so you can see. We'll pick a color we can see on this picture. Let's go with yellow. Let's try this first drawing tool here. This next one is the arrow. You just tap it and it creates an arrow for you. Next one's a highlight. You can see it's a little bit more transparent. I love this next one because it adds a little glitter and shine. And next is the eraser tool, which I love so much. Let me show you how this works. What I would do, I would use the regular pen. I would choose a color and I hold my finger down on the screen. By holding my finger on the screen, it turns the entire screen yellow. Then I tap on the eraser tool at the top, and then I'd use my finger to erase the screen like you're seeing right now. So the eraser tool can be a really great way to reveal your latest post or to create a cool frame on your story. So those are basically your drawing tools. You have all different choices of colors at the bottom if you keep swiping left. But if you want to use your own color or you want to match a color to the picture, all you have to do is hit the eyedropper you see there on the left. There you go. And you can move this around and match whatever color you want to use. So you have unlimited choices here. And lastly, we have our text tool. And we have all different types of text you can see here on the bottom. We can center it, right or left justify it. We can use the slider to make it bigger or smaller. We can also use our fingers to do that. In the middle, we can change the color. To the right here, this button allows us to add some color behind it. This is great because sometimes our text blends into our photo, blends into the background, and this just helps the text stand out a little bit easier. You can add as many text blocks as you like, make them bigger, smaller, move them around, and then of course if you don't like it, you can discard it and put it in the trash. So quickly, as a reminder across the top, to the left, the X in the corner will X out of your stories and you will start again. The arrow down will allow you to save this to your camera roll. That little face is a face filter. The link is to add a link to your story if you have over 10,000 followers or a verified account. That little peeled back sticker is where you find your stickers, your GIFs. That little squiggly line is your drawing tool where you can write on the screen. You also have your eraser tool. And then the A is your text tool. And one last thing before your story is done, if you swipe to the left and you keep on swiping, you'll be allowed to also change the filter on your story. So after you've shot that picture or video, you've added all your bells and whistles, you've decided if you want to change that filter, we now can publish that story. And you can decide right here if you want to send it to your story or your close friends list, or you can hit send to, and this screen will pop up and you're given the same options where you can share it to your story, your close friends only. You can also just send it to a few friends. But usually you'll be hitting the button up top where it says your story. It will get sent and you'll be good to go. Now, if you'd like to view your story, all you have to do is click on that profile icon you see over to the left and you'll be able to view whatever stories you have in the last 24 hours. There you have it. You now know how to use Instagram and Instagram stories. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a like and share it with your friends because let's face it, Instagram's a lot more fun with friends. Before you go, I have 2 resources for you. This step-by-step Instagram Reels tutorial, which will dive into those features that we didn't cover today, and this free Instagram class for actors that will help you grow your following. Until next time, I'll see you on social. Bye.